What's up, Transformers fans? My name's Mondo with another transmission from Moonbase 84. The new year is underway, so I figured that I'd kick things off with episode 2 of Transformers Then and Now. This is the series where I look at a character's first appearance toy all the way through to their most recent release. Also, if you happen to enjoy the show, please consider subscribing and all that good stuff that helps content creators such as myself, and I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now that my begging is out of the way, let's dive into Transformers Then and Now Strongarm. So here we have the 2004 Energon Strongarm, the 2006 Cybertron / Transformers Classics Minicon Strongarm, the 2015 Transformers RID Strongarm, and the most recent 2023 Legacy Evolution Strongarm. So to kick things off, let's check out the 2004 Energon Strongarm, which is, of course, his first toy, his first release. And compared to many other characters, Strongarm doesn't have a ton of toys, but I chose Strongarm because of the great memories I have of playing Transformers with my oldest son. I got him into Transformers when he was around 4 or 5, and he'd want me to use some of my Transformers when we played, and Energon Strongarm was always my main go-to. Now, in the Energon cartoon, Strongarm was an Omnicon, but wasn't a specific character. Just like the other Omnicons, there were multiple Strongarms in the show, and all the Omnicons were Energon miners that could shape Energon to provide other bots with powered-up Energon weapons. I always liked this Strongarm design. He looks exactly like his role was in the show, a hard-working miner. But the reason I like Strongarm so much is not really because of the Energon cartoon. As I mentioned, he was the character that I would use the most when playing with my son back in the day, when we used the toys to play out a story. So what I would do is I would take what we did while playing and write little fan fiction stories for us to read, and those were some really fun times, man. Naturally, my version of this Strongarm was a single character with a distinct personality and was part of a special Autobot unit who traveled around space locating Decepticon bases, kind of like the Wreckers. Also, fun fact, his name is a twist of my last name, which is probably why I've always liked the character in the first place. And now as we take a bit of a closer look at Energon Strongarm, I will mention that he was re-released in blue. It was supposed to be like a pure Energon form. I do have it, but it's the same exact figure, different colors. So I didn't break him out for this Then and Now. And he was also released again in the 2007 Transformer movie tie-in. And that time he was like a green color, which are both. I don't have that one, but actually I do want to pick him up because, as I said, I have a special connection to this character. But yeah, as I said, I've always liked the design. He just looks like a rough and rugged and miner. Just pretty cool little bot. He does have some nice Energon effects and accessories. You get the little Energon powered up star. You can plug into here and into other characters to infuse them with Energon weaponry and power. He has this accessory, which is his axe, his Energon axe. Of course, you're a miner, you need to have an axe. But also, it's cool, just for a couple little accessories, you can do several things. So if I can get it out, you have his Energon axe. Oh, and there goes Strongarm. I'm not editing that out. But then you can take the pieces of the axe off, like so. And then you have a blaster for Strongarm, which you can fold that in or out like that. And he can hold it like this. So you can have his blaster, his power effect. And you can actually plug these onto his side like so. And actually these two halves of the axe are actually what becomes the back wheel in his Jeep mode. So yeah, once again, I love the old Energon toys. They're like thick, chunky bots. And Strongarm is no different and really cool. He moves pretty decently for the time. He's got some nice articulation there. These pieces come up. It's like, no swivel here, but you know, for the time, he has a waist swivel. Fairly decent articulated, and as I said, my son and I had tons of fun playing with Strongarm and friends. So the next Strongarm we have is the 2006 Minicon Strongarm, which his alt mode is a police car. And he was released, as I said, in 2006 in the Cybertron cartoon show line, and also released again in the Transformers Classics line. And to be honest, I just recently picked him up to do this Then and Now. I was going over various strong arm toys, and this guy popped up. And then when I did research, this was interesting. He has an unreleased bio that says that he is a studious and follows the rules police bot. So yeah, you can see where the idea for this strong arm started to take shape. So I thought that was pretty cool. And you know what, mini cons are fun. Who wouldn't want another mini con? But that's the only attachment I really have. But yeah, he looks like a cool little mini con. As I said, he's a police car, so you see his light bar, of course limited articulation. Yeah, still cool little mini con. Which brings us to the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015 strong arm. This is the RID Warrior class from that show. And the RID 2015 show took that mini-con's bio and ran with it, while also turning strong arm into a female. And I definitely don't mean that in a negative way at all. It's obviously something they did, so I'm gonna mention it, obviously. I have to say that RID 2015 as a show was a letdown for me, and I still haven't finished it yet. I was really excited for it when it was coming out because it was the sequel or follow-up to my personal favorite Transformers series, Transformers Prime. But it definitely pales in comparison to the Prime show. I do plan to watch it from beginning to end very soon though, just because it's the way I am. I have to watch it, even if I'm not really into it, just because it's Transformers. So I'm sure I'll find some good in there. I always do. I'm not sure if I was biased because of her name, but right out of the gate, I did like strong arm in the show. Like I said, always try to find some good in things that maybe aren't the best. I know her insistence on following rules and regulations can sometimes be tedious, but I also thought that the way they had other characters play off her personality was very fun, and I can definitely see how she has become a fan favorite to a lot of fans. And because she was such a breakout popular character from the RID 2015 show, there were other versions through those RID 2015 toy lines, such as the Legion class strong arm and the one-step changer, and I think she was redecoed as well at some point in different paint scheme, like black and white. So checking out Warrior class strong arm, much like how I feel about the Earthspark figures I own, they aren't the best technically Transformers out there, but they are a lot of fun, and this strong arm is no exception. It kind of reminds me of an Earthspark Transformer. Excuse me. She has decent articulation. I mean, I like how her arms, because of transformation, they both want to go like that. She goes all over the place. Of course, she's hollow. This isn't like a full review, so that's why I'm not getting super involved into the articulation, but she is hollow and stuff, much like many of the Earthspark figures. But she's a fun figure. She has her blaster that has a perma blast effect coming out of it, which is kind of strange because what if she's not shooting? But yeah, she's definitely RID strong arm. I like the head sculpt. I have seen images of the Takara version, which is better and more accurate, especially with the paint schemes and things. But this one does me just fine. I mean, it's a fun little toy. It doesn't have to be super accurate. What I'd like to get the Takara, it's kind of on the pricier end right now, so I don't think I would pay all that money for the Warrior class strong arm. This one suits me just fine, and like I said, fun figure of a cool character. Which brings us to Strong Arm's most recent release, and that being the 2023 Legacy Evolution Strong Arm. And I really like this figure, and it also makes me a little angry, maybe jealous, but that is just because you have the Legacy Evolution strong arm. We're getting the Cyberverse Windblade and Legacy Evolution and animated Bumblebee and Prime, and all those figures seem to be more faithful to their source animation. So what angers me is what they did to Transformers Prime figures. I do like the bulkhead, but I'll go on a tangent about that, and that's not what this is about. It's about strong arm, but this figure I think is really cool. I think it's really well done. I wish she had a little bit more of a smile in her head sculpt. I mean, I know she's by the book, by the rules, but she looks way too serious. But I am happy that she is more faithful to her source material than the Prime figures. She's nicely done. I know sometimes these shoulder pads, which is the front of her truck, get in the way, but you can move them around and flex them to get them out of the way for some good posing. I didn't review this. I mean, there is some hollowness. I didn't give this an official review, but I still like this figure, and it too is very fun. And check out the details a little bit more here. So yeah, pretty cool. The backpack's smaller than Warrior class, obviously, and not as hollow. Also shorter. This Strongarm, obviously you can tell, is much chunkier, and this brings it down a little bit, but I think I would like a midway point, because she had the beefy shoulder pads, and this Strongarm does too, but I don't know. Yeah, I think a middle ground design would be cool as well. But yeah, really happy with this Strongarm figure, as well as the other ones I just showed. Here we have all of the Strongarms transformed into the vehicle modes. Here's the Energon Strongarm, and I like how you can incorporate his cannon, his blaster. It looks really good in the Jeep mode, I think. And of course, the Energon effect. And as I mentioned, the axe halves form the tire to the back of the Jeep. This is a fun little Jeep vehicle mode. I've always loved it. I've loved this design. I just thought always thought it was pretty cool. And of course, you got the little police car minicon, which again bridges the transformation of the Strongarm character, which for such a little minicon, little toy, very significant when it comes to the character of Strongarm. So pretty cool and pretty interesting. Nice little police car. And then of course you have the 2015 RID Strongarm, the biggest out of all of them. Of course, she was the biggest in robot mode too. I know that's not always the case when it comes to vehicle modes. Tag her in a little bit better. But yeah, nice, just like the show, cool, like heavy duty off-road police truck. I mean, of course, Warrior class, so not super detailed when it comes to the paint. Of course, you get the little markings from that are her legs. Blaster on the top, sirens on the top as well. Yeah, but cool little truck. It kind of, believe it or not, reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever dealt with any of the Transformers Authentics toy line. That toy line you can get, it's like lower end, very playable toys. It reminds me of that Authentic Soundwave, which I own. But yeah, fun truck. And then of course we have the 2023 Legacy Evolution, of course based off this because they're in the same series. Much smaller, much more compact, like a low to the ground off-road truck, but also a decent truck nonetheless. I would love to have seen like the kind of paint applications for the grill and things, and this one, put on this one, more attention to the paint detail. Here's her siren, because my favorite of the RID Strongarm alt modes, even though this one kind of feels like not as high quality, I do prefer this one. It's beefier, and not just because of the size of the robot, it just presents like a beefier off-road truck, which Strongarm was, of course. And this one's more like a squat, too squat in a way, too low to the ground, almost like it's trying to be like a race car off-road truck. But still, I do like it, don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing the toy, it's just I prefer this beefier look. And so to wrap up this episode of Then and Now, I'll finish by saying, while I do think the 2015 RID Strongarm is a good character and a nice addition to the Transformers mythos, the original Energon toy will always be my favorite version. Notice I said toy and not character. I do think the design of the Energon Strongarm is great, but a big part of my love for that version comes from the nostalgic memories of a dad and his boy having fun playing with toys. Plus, I think our stories and personality for Energon Strongarm were better than what we got on screen, which I know is biased, but hey, people have different reasons why they're connected to things, and that's why I'm connected to this guy. As far as official characterization, I have to go with the RID 2015 Strongarm for sure, and the toys we got of her are fun as well. I do hope we see her again in a new Transformer show sooner rather than later. She has to carry on as the closest Transformer named like me after all. And I'm going to finish by saying I hope you enjoyed this episode of Transformers Then and Now Strongarm. Let me know in the comments what your favorite version of the character is, and as always, thanks for docking.